All right, today we're taking a deep dive into the latest results from Enagás. Now, this is a company right at the absolute heart of Spain's energy network, and more, Europe's as well. We're going to break down their performance and really dig into how they're pulling off this incredible balancing act between today's critical energy needs and the massive demands of a green future.
But first, the usual quick reminder. Everything you're about to see is just for informational purposes. It is not financial advice. So please always do your own research or chat with a professional before making any investment decisions.
Okay, let's get into it. The story of Enagás right now is really this fascinating tightrope walk. On one hand, they have to make sure the lights stay on for everyone today, using natural gas. But on the other hand, they're laying the literal groundwork for a massive shift to clean hydrogen. It's this dual role that is just so critical for Europe's energy security and its green ambitions. So, to really get a grip on their importance, let's first establish what Enagás actually is. The best way to think about it is as the main artery for Spain's entire energy system. Officially, they're Spain's main transmission system operator, or TSO. That means Enagás is in charge of that huge, sprawling network of pipelines that moves natural gas all across the country. But, and this is the key part, their role is evolving fast, pushing them right to the front of the line in Europe's big switch to hydrogen. So, with that in mind, how are the financials looking for the first 9 months of 2025? Well, the big story here is a really stable financial core, and that's what gives them the firepower they need to invest in that future. First up, a solid net profit of 262.8 million euros. Now, yeah, this includes some one-time gains, but their core, day-to-day recurring profit is right on track to meet their annual goals, and that shows you the underlying business is really healthy. Next, let's look at EBITDA. It's basically a great way to measure a company's core operating performance before things like interest and taxes get involved. It came in at 505.9 million euros, which puts them on a really clear path to hit their year-end target of 670 million. No surprises here, just steady progress. And this right here shows some serious financial discipline. In just 9 months, Enagás managed to cut its net debt by 57 million euros. That strengthens their whole financial position, which is a really smart move, especially with interest rates on the rise. Okay, now this slide is where it gets really interesting, because you see a bit of a contrast. Look at the top line. Total revenues are up almost 7%. Great. But then you look at EBITDA and recurrent net profit, and they're down. So what's going on here? Is this bad news? Well, not exactly. So here's the crucial context. That drop you saw? It's not because of poor performance. It's actually a strategic sacrifice. It's the expected result of selling off their stake in an American company called Tallgrass Energy. They are deliberately taking a short-term hit to their profits so they can refocus everything on their core European mission. And here is the payoff from that big strategic move. By using the money from the Tallgrass sale to pay down debt, Enagás has managed to lower its borrowing costs. The average cost of their debt fell from 2.7% all the way down to 2.2%. In the world of corporate finance, that is a significant efficiency gain that just makes them so much stronger financially. Now, having this stable financial base is absolutely crucial because it lets Enagás invest heavily in the future. And for them, that future is all about one thing: hydrogen. Division here is just massive. We are talking about building what the European Commission president herself calls energy highways. But these aren't for cars. They're these vast hydrogen corridors designed to move clean energy across the entire continent. And Enagás, they're one of the lead architects. And listen, this is not just talk. The progress in 2025 alone has been incredible. They formed the key joint venture for the BarMar pipeline to France. They got the public backing of both France and Germany. They saw the project named a top EU priority. And they watched the H2Med Alliance grow to almost 50 major players. That is some serious momentum. And of course, the European Union is putting its money where its mouth is. Enagás has already locked in over 75 million euros in EU funds, and that's just to finance the initial studies and engineering for the Spanish part of this hydrogen backbone. You really have to appreciate the scale of this collaboration. This is not just one company's pet project. This is a strategic alliance that includes the European Commission and the governments of Portugal, Spain, France, and Germany. This is a geopolitical move, plain and simple, pushing Europe toward energy independence. So even while they're building for the future, Enagás is also having to navigate a really rapidly changing energy map in the here and now. So let's take a look at the current demand trends that are shaping their day-to-day operations. So this slide basically shows where all of Spain's natural gas is going. You've got what's called conventional demand, that's mainly for industrial and commercial use, and then you have the demand for generating electricity. And, well, one of these is growing a lot faster than the other. Just look at these numbers, a nearly 37% jump in gas demand just to generate electricity. This tells a really crucial story. You see, as more solar and wind power come online, which are intermittent, right? They don't work when the sun isn't shining or the wind isn't blowing. Natural gas becomes even more vital. It's the reliable backup you need to keep the grid stable 24/7.
And this isn't just a domestic story. Through its infrastructure, Spain is becoming a major energy exporter. Gas exports to France shot up by almost 50%, helping to stabilize their neighbor's energy system. This really solidifies Spain's role as a critical energy hub for all of Europe.
So, as we start to bring this all together, what we see is a company that's grounded in today's energy reality, but has its eyes fixed firmly on a sustainable green future. Let's just wrap up by looking at their commitment to making that transition happen.
You know, this isn't just about what kind of energy you produce, it's about how you do business. And Enagás is a leader across the board in ESG metrics. They're getting top marks for climate action, for gender equality, for corporate governance, and as a top employer. This just shows a really deep-seated commitment to doing things the right way.
This quote, I think, just perfectly captures the company's whole mindset. In a world of constant energy disruption, the ability to adapt, to pivot from gas to hydrogen, to go from a national focus to a continental one, that isn't just a survival skill. It is the core competitive advantage.
And that leaves us with a final thought. We are literally witnessing the transformation of a national utility into a key player in Europe's clean energy future. The foundation has been laid, the alliances are formed, but the biggest question remains: how quickly can these new energy highways actually be built to power the continent of tomorrow?